Give me a minute, and I want to address Mel Van Abbott's comment here. There's a rumor that NATO is giving 324 billion of Russia's frozen assets to Ukraine. And at this time, Mel, it is just a rumor. There's a lot of debate about what to do with this money and how to get it to Ukraine. And if you take a look, the source for this chart is the Bank of Russia. This was published in The Economist last year. And if you add all these up here, I think it's 313 billion, actually. Something like that, right? So not far off. And there might be a little bit of money in other places too. But so what do you do with it, right? It belongs to Russia. It's currently frozen in the midst of this conflict, but the conflict doesn't have a winner. What do you do? And there's a lot of international law at play here, which I don't know anything about. But I can tell you what people are thinking and doing, that's for sure. In the United States, the first confiscated Russian assets of $500,000, so just a drop in the bucket, not even $1 million, were confiscated from a bunch of sanctions evaders who were making profits by selling electronic components to Russia for missiles, is what they were doing, right? So they all got arrested, they all got charged, they all went to trial, they were all found guilty, they're all sitting in American jails, and their money was sent to Estonia, who's got a fund for Ukrainian reconstruction efforts, right? Good shit. That was the first drop in the bucket. Now we see the British Prime Minister talking about a scheme. It's the foreign minister, I think, is David Cameron's job these days. David Cameron has a plan to write a loan from the British to the Ukrainians with the frozen assets as collateral. Now, if you look here, the British have about 31 billion of those Russian assets. Now, this is an old chart. Oh, interest. That's probably where the 324 number's coming from. Because right now the British have 32 billion, and probably that extra billion came from interest on the money sitting in the bank. So it probably is 324. Because this chart's a year old. Okay, so the British have a plan to write a loan to the Ukrainians for 32 billion, and then they've got the frozen assets in the bank, so if Ukraine can't pay the loan back, they got the money. That's beautiful. I love that. Other countries are looking at different things. The Belgians, for example, are talking about taking the interest on the money that's in their accounts and sending that interest to Ukraine. I'm just noticing Belgium isn't even on this chart. But I'm pretty sure they've got 107 billion, 1.7 billion in interest payments that they can send to the Ukrainians. So that's probably 2 years compounded interest on something less than 15 billion. So there's a lot of money out there, frozen in the banks. And if the countries can find the political will to send it to the Ukrainians to help with reconstruction, that's where it ought to go. And it'll reduce Russia's future reparations payments. If we get the whole 325 billion in, well, then that's only, another 770 billion that they're going to have to pay in reparations. These fucking guys.